Hello everyone, and welcome back to the chess tutorial series. In this video, we're going to be setting up castling for our king, and then making sure that our turns are working so that each player has a turn. So let's go ahead and get started by getting the turn logic set up. So let's open up our chessboard, and we've already created this function right here, end turn, but it doesn't have any logic in it yet. So that's what we're going to start with. So let's go ahead and get started, and we will get started by grabbing a reference to all pieces, hitting values, okay, and then we are going to update moves, going to king, death. Doesn't look like we actually have that function yet. So we need to create a function called king death check. So new function, king death check. Basically all this is going to do is check to make sure, or check and see if the king is dead. So let's go ahead and see. We need an input, and the input is going to be a piece parent, and it's going to be an array. Okay, and we're going to see if it contains, and we need the king references that we have. Okay. We'll do that one, then we'll do the next one. Okay. So if the king is contained in all of our pieces, which is what we're going to do right here, so king death check. Actually, let's make sure this is renamed first. Array. There we go, that's perfectly fine. We can plug that in. Okay. And then we need to create, don't believe we have game over yet. Nope. So let's create the new function called game over. And game over isn't going to do anything just yet, so keep that in mind. Go back to our king death check. So if our king is not in all pieces, we're going to call game over. Okay. And then that, I believe, is it for our king death check. So we can go ahead and close out of this one and go back to our end turn. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our player reference. We're going to use that function that we created earlier called toggle player. Okay. You can go ahead and save and compile. Save, compile. Okay. And now you can go ahead and, I believe we're already calling end turn on piece moved. So let's just test this out. Move our piece. And as you can tell, everything's working perfect. So we can actually check and make sure. Looks like the pawns are working fine. Awesome. Okay. So let's jump into our king. We're going to create a new function, and this function is going to be called can castle. So we need to new function can castle. We're going to get the direction. So input, direction, name this direction. We're going to get our board reference, not the blackboard, get board reference. And then we're going to is king in check. Okay, we can actually open this back up and make sure that this is a pure function. Okay, so let's jump back into our king. Do a branch right here. So if the king is in check, obviously it cannot castle. Let's just output here, boolean, and then name is return. So if king is in check, do not allow it. And then also we want to get has moved. And if we've moved, we also cannot castle. So let's hook this up to the false, this one up to the true, and then this one as well. There we go. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to create a variable called path broken. So if our path is broken, then this will return true. Okay, and we need a direction. Switch on direction enum. Now for this false, we're going to do the left one first. So let's just reroute. Reroute the right down here. Okay. We're going to get position in direction. The length is going to be 3. This self, and the direction is left. Going to get position info. We need our border reference again. Get position info. Plug that into our position here, and we are going to get class, and we're going to make sure that it's equal to the rook class. Okay. We're going to do 2 branches here. So if there is a piece found, check and see if it's the rook. Okay, if so, we'll check and see if the rook itself has moved. So get has moved. The rook can't move, or the rook can't castle either if it's moved. So has moved needs to be false. And then if false is valid, so the piece that we're checking if it's valid is this one right here. We should actually probably do that beforehand. So let's put this right there maybe. If it's not valid, we don't want to be checking the class at all. Okay. So if it's equal to rook, and if we have not moved, we're going to find valid path, length of 2. Okay. This is the false. Okay. And then we are going to get length. And we're just going to make sure that it's greater than 1. Okay. And if it's greater than 1, we're going to for each with break. We're just going to make sure that all of these paths that we found are empty, basically. So let's just get our border reference again, get position info. Okay. And if a piece was found, we're going to set path broken to true, and we're going to break the for loop. Okay. If false, we're going to is position in danger. Position is going to be the one that's input right here. And if position is in danger, we're also going to set path broken to true. Just reroute this so it doesn't look so bad. Okay, and then the team, we want to make sure that this is correct as well. So just get team. Get team. Okay. Save, compile, and then on completed, need a return value. There it is. So on completed down here, if path is not broken, we will return to true. Okay. And then last thing, we need to grab this return node. Actually need to move this stuff over a little bit. So check if path is empty. And then we want to hook up all of these empty ones right here to false. Okay. We can go ahead and save now, compile, and we actually don't need to redo all of this. So all we're going to do is move this down a little bit, copy everything that we made, paste it down here, and then we're just going to change a couple of things over here. So plug this in, and I believe the first thing that we're going to change is the direction. Make this right. I'm going to change the length to 4 here. And then on this find valid path, we need to change this to a 3. And then also make this a right direction. And then we want to make sure that the length is greater than 2. If it is greater than 2, then we will do all of this stuff. Okay, so now we can go ahead and save, compile. This is the can castle function. This will basically just make sure that the king can castle. And then we need to jump into our get all possible moves here. And we're going to add the castling logic. So we need to add a new variable, and it's going to be a map. So a new variable here, name is castling points. We want this to be a string map, and then the key is going to be a piece direction. Sorry, just a direction. Okay. We can save and compile that now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to, in the beginning of our get possible moves, we're going to clear our castling points. So just clear this. Okay. Save, compile real quick. And then we can jump down here, reroute this, and we are going to move this somewhere else just so we have some space. We're going to get our function can castle. Make sure this is pure. So can castle to the left. Okay, and if so, we are going to add. The direction is going to be left. Okay, and the position that we're going to be adding is we need to get position in direction. Make this length 2. Piece to self. Direction is left. Okay. Now we're going to do basically the same thing, but for our right. So we can copy this, paste it, plug this into our false, and then also on the end of our add, okay. Now we just need to change the direction. The length needs to be 3, and the direction on this one. And also right here. Okay. And last thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this value right here. Going to reroute. Another one right here. Hook these up. Okay. And then we're going to get our castling points. We're going to get the keys. We're going to add, so combine string array. We're going to combine our string points. Oops, not that one. Okay, move this over. So now we have our combined array. We can plug that into our clean position array. Plug that into our keys. And now we have our function. So we can save and compile. All right. And then we need to jump back into our chessboard. Okay, because we need to create a castling function in here. Basically what this castling is going to do is it's going to do a couple of checks, and then it's going to not only move the king, but it's going to move the rook. So I'm going to name it castle. This is going to be a little bit longer, so bear with me. We need a block input, which is going to be an object reference. So an object. Make sure this is just a single variable. Okay. And then we're going to get current king. So get current king. We're going to get current piece. And if they are equal, okay, we will take our current king, cast to king. There we go. Name this block really quick. Okay. We're going to check and see has moved. I believe we've already done that check, so we actually don't need to do that one. But we do want to get castling points. And we are going to check and see if it contains our block, letter, and number. So we need to get that value as well. So get block, letter, find block, letter. Find. There it is. I don't know why that wasn't working. So actually make sure this is changed. Letter and number. Okay. So contains. If true, then we are going to do a couple of different things. So we need to save, compile. We're going to get all pieces. Going to find. And then the position that we're going to be finding, we're going to use a select node for. And the index is going to be our direction enum. So we can go ahead and get this, find the position. Go ahead and plug that into our index. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do another select. And this is going to be based off of our current team. So get current team. Okay. And we need 2 of these. So plug that into left and right. There we go. Put that at the bottom down there. Okay. So now from our white, we need to make string. And we're going to manually type in the locations of our rooks. So let's just paste these out here. Okay. So now let's go ahead and type in A8. Okay. We're going to do H1. And then we're going to do A1 and H8. Okay. And then basically this is going to find the piece based on the current team and the current direction that they want to castle in. So if it was found, go ahead and plug that in. If it was found, let's get has moved. And if it hasn't moved, we're going to move piece. We will select the target. And the select is going to be based off of the same direction enum. Okay. And then left is going to be another select based on team, just like last time. So team and team. Okay. And then we're going to get H3. This is going to be our black right here. No. Because we are calling the wrong function. So we need move piece, not piece moved. So where's our move piece? Move to block. There we go. Plug that in. Do our select again. Delete this one. Okay. Then we can go for right and left. Delete that one, I suppose. Plug the team in. Okay, so H3 again is going to be for our black. And then we need A3. And that one is going to be for our white on the bottom down here. Okay, and then we need A6 and H6. So grab the A6 and H6. Okay. Then we can just go ahead and plug that in. And we make sure this is on false. So we can save, compile. And now what we need to do is we just need to jump into our event graph. We need to find our move to block. There it is. And we're just going to add our castle into this function. So just get this right after here. So castle. And then the block is going to be this right here. Save, compile. Okay, so now we should get a highlight right here. Doesn't look like we're getting it. Well, let's go ahead and jump into, so really quick, let's go ahead and move our player reference. Get this out of here. And then we're going to actually put this before we ever do init pieces. Hopefully that should fix the errors that we're having with the get current king. Looks like that did it. Perfect. So although this isn't going to fix it, we did grab the wrong function. We actually need to grab the one from the piece. So let's just go ahead and plug those in. And then make sure this is false. Okay. All right, so because I set up the tutorial a little bit differently than I did the project that I did before the tutorial, the left and right have been switched. So we need to jump into our chess function library and then open up get position and direction. And then instead of having the plus on your right, or sorry, plus on your left, which is where you should be, you should switch your plus to the right and the left to the minus. So we're going to do that. Okay. We're going to save and compile, and then we're going to jump into our chessboard, and then we're going to get in our castle function. And inside of our castle function, we need to change these values right here as well as these values right here. So this is what it was before, A8, H1, A1, H8, and now it's A1, H8, A8, H1. And then the same thing with these. This is A6, H3, A3, H6. It needs to be A3, H6, A6, and H3. So that's all the changes that you need to make, and then castling should be working perfectly fine. So we're going to hop over back, press play. We're going to go ahead and test it out. All right, so now that we have our board state set up, as you can see, we can go, and that is highlighted. So we're just going to do this for both sides, actually. Okay, and now you should be able to see this highlight as well as this one. We'll go ahead and do that, and as you can see, it castled. And as you can see, it castled over there. Now we can go ahead and press stop, because we are done with this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something new. In the next video, we'll be getting the king check system, the game over, and the main menu setup. And that's going to actually be our last video in the series. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.